All right, good morning, everybody. This is CBS19 Meteorologist Joel Robinson here with a 10:34 a.m. weather update. We're talking all about the winter storm coming up this weekend. Thanks for joining me on CBS19 Plus as well as YouTube and Facebook. I do have the Facebook chat up over there, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll be over there momentarily to answer some of your questions, some of your comments. But we're going to be talking all about this. And we're starting to kind of see the moisture stream in on CBS19 Live radar, all just rain at the moment. And the freezing temperatures are actually present way up to the north, actually not too terribly far. They're actually up in Oklahoma at this point. That rain or that freezing line, that's going to cause the freezing rain coming in for tomorrow and into parts of Sunday as well. And that will continue to move to the south. And once that runs into this rain, that's going to become a little bit more widespread into the rest of today. We're going to start to see that development of freezing rain into the early parts of tomorrow and all the way through tomorrow as well. So we do have winter storm warnings that are in effect for these counties in pink. That's going to go from Palestine all the way to Carthage. And then areas further to the north, that's going to start at 6 o'clock tonight and go until Sunday at noon. These counties here have the best chance for the highest amount of ice, the highest amount of sleet. And I really think this is mainly going to be an ice event. We'll have a little bit of that stuff mixed in, just a little bit, and perhaps maybe a little bit of snow. I think the better chance of snow is likely going to be north of the I-30 corridor. And the further south you go, the lesser of a chance you'll see for any significant ice. I will say some of the data sets are still spitting out maybe about 1/4 of an inch of ice south of the I-20 corridor. But we have not quite reached that winter storm warning criteria for areas to the south, including Crockett, Nacogdoches Center. You still have that winter storm watch. There's still a little bit of room for things to kind of change. Hopefully it kind of stays that way for some of our southern counties. That, of course, does not omit it completely from getting ice at all. I think there's still a little bit of a chance to see a little bit of ice, but we do have that winter storm watch that is in effect for those counties in blue. That starts on Saturday morning, and then it goes until Sunday morning. So we're going to watch that really closely. We also have extreme cold watches and extreme cold warnings actually off to the west here. We have potentially some temperatures around 0 to maybe even in the negatives out to the west. And I do have a low on Monday down to 11 degrees, which would break the record, which is around 12. That is going to be possible as we head into Monday. So, I mean, either way, it's going to be really cold, but we may or may not reach that criteria for an extreme cold warning for the rest of us, but we're going to have to really track this air mass really closely to see if there's any changes there. But overall, I mean, we're going to see some below freezing temperatures. So even when this system wraps up, still going to be below freezing and still going to support the ice to stick around for the next several days after that. So that's something we're going to have to watch for really closely. The watches, they start on Sunday afternoon, go until Tuesday morning. And then for those of us in the warnings, that's going to start at Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m. on Saturday and go until Monday at noon. And again, it's that cold air mass. It's really coming down here and really causing some really cold temperatures there. So here's a look at winter weather alerts across the country here. Lots of areas within this winter storm warning. And then you have some areas in purple here. That's an ice storm warning. Those areas are going to receive at least maybe 3/4 of an inch of ice, maybe up to an inch or more. I don't think we'll see that much here in East Texas, but still will be enough to really cause some issues there. So we got ice storm warnings out to the east. You got the blue highlighted areas. Those are extreme cold warnings. You got temperatures well below 0 in those areas. I'll show you a national temperature map in just a second, but it's coming down. And once it comes down, and once this area of low pressure, which is our next system, collides with that air mass, that's when we're going to start to see that switch over to freezing rain, sleet, and maybe a little bit of snow, especially the case in Oklahoma and areas further to the north. But at the moment, still above freezing. We're seeing plenty of rain, and we're going to continue to see that as we wear on to the rest of the afternoon until that freezing line continues to move down and down and down. I think we have a chance to maybe see that maybe around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight at the very earliest. But check it out. This is our national temperatures. -21 in Eau Claire, -10 in Chicago. We're down to 4 in Kansas City, 26 in, this is the difference right here. 26 in Tulsa, 51 in Tyler. That freezing line right across the state of Oklahoma. So it's not too far away. So I would say by at least this evening, we'll have that chance for things to finally switch over. So if you have any plans to maybe settle in somewhere, I would definitely do it as early as possible, because by this evening, I think that's when we're going to really start to see ice develop. Of course, the road temperatures have to kind of catch up a little bit to the below freezing levels, so you might have a little bit of room, but those temperatures, those air temperatures are going to really start to drop by the time we get to this evening. So overall, how are the roads for today and for this weekend? This weekend's a no-go. I would not travel on the weekend unless you absolutely have to. Today, you could get away with it for the most part. I think most of the day is going to just feature some wet roads. Still going to be kind of slick at times, but once we get to the evening, once that freezing line kind of pushes down towards the I-20 corridor, right around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, that's when we can start to see the development of a few icy spots. Now again, it might take a little bit of time for the road temperatures to kind of catch up, because if the road temperatures are too warm, well, then we're not going to be seeing too much ice. But it will have a chance to really catch up, especially into tomorrow, as the cold air really starts to settle in. But for today, most of the day featuring just rain. It really becomes a little bit more widespread and kind of a steady light rain, maybe even moderate in some spots for this afternoon, around the middle afternoon. And here comes 8 o'clock. There's that transition there. That freezing line finally makes its way down. Notice the temperature difference, 36 in Tyler. You go up to Mount Pleasant, Sulphur Springs. That's going to be around 32. So right around this time frame is when you can really start to see that transition, and then it really moves in deep into East Texas by the time we get to Saturday morning. And Saturday is going to be our big day. That's when we can see the most amount of freezing rain. I think that's going to be the #1 thing there. We get to early Saturday afternoon, we do get a little bit of a break, but we're not done, because we have another round of that coming in Saturday evening. Look at the temperatures, down to 23, 22 in Linden. We got 23, all of us at or below freezing, and then you got some snow off to the north. But we're going to continue to see that into the rest of your Saturday. We get a little bit of a break, but then we get another round of it into the rest of your Saturday, and it finally exits the area by Sunday at noon. It's all clear, but notice the temperatures. They're still well below freezing. And so we could definitely see some icy spots still kind of linger even into parts of next week. I think for a majority of next week. The temperatures for the daytime, yeah, they'll be above freezing, but for the overnight, we're talking about low temperatures in the low teens. We're talking about temperatures potentially in the 20s. So anything that melts is going to refreeze. So that's something you got to kind of keep in mind as well into next week. Here's the latest numbers on the ice outlook here. Again, there you go. Along and north of I-20, featuring at least a ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. You go up to the Arklatex, you're going to get maybe around 3/4 to an inch possible there. But notice the further south you go, the warmer it gets, and you're going to see a little bit less in the way of ice. But all of us will at least have a chance to see some ice to some extent. I think the better chance for a little bit more widespread power outages and much more treacherous conditions are going to be closer to the I-20 corridor and, of course, to the north. You can see those purples. That's not good. We do not want that at all. This is a product from the Weather Prediction Center. This shows you the Storm Severity Index. So a lot of the area here is under a major impact there. And that, again, that's where we're going to be seeing the most ice. You go further to the north, you get a little bit of sleet, a little bit of snow, so you kind of get a little bit of a different impact. Still kind of bad, but not really quite as bad as, especially when it comes to comparing sleet and freezing rain. That freezes on the road surfaces, everything. That gives you your slippery ice. I think that's going to be the most part, what we're going to be seeing for the most part across much of the area. So I definitely would expect considerable disruptions. Definitely you don't want to travel at all. That's not a good idea. Widespread closures, power outages, definitely going to be a possibility as well. That the crews are all out. Today is the last day, really, to prepare for this as we start to get a little bit deeper into this storm. But as we take a look at our weather impact alert, we have declared a weather impact alert starting at 9 o'clock tonight. That goes until Monday at noon. And that's for that combination. Not only are we going to be seeing this ice storm, but we also are in for some Arctic cold. Remember those extreme cold watches, extreme cold warnings? Yeah, we're going to get really cold. So if you have to travel, please be careful, take it slow, bring your pets indoors, bring your plants indoors, and bring yourself indoors. And if you have to be outside, definitely want to make sure to bundle up because it's going to be cold. I mean, take a look at these low temperatures, even the high temperatures. High temperature on Sunday, 25. But check out the low temperature by the time we get to Monday. We're so deep into the air mass, we get to 11 degrees. That could break some records right there. We get up to 34 during the afternoon, but look what happens on Tuesday, 15 degrees. So anything that melts is going to refreeze. We kind of repeat that process over and over for the next several days. So I do expect that there will be some ice still expected over the next several days here, despite all of this really being all wrapped up. I'm over here, I'm on my phone here. I'm trying to look at Facebook here. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to just ask and I will answer that for you. But it's around 8 or 9 o'clock. That is when we can expect that transition. Right now, we're doing okay. That rain, I keep saying rain, well, rain and freezing rain line is kind of accurate too, but that freezing line is up to the north into Oklahoma at this point. And once it continues to move south, we'll start to see that transition. Well, let's take a look right here. I'll take you on over to the, let's see, we'll go over future skycast one more time so y'all can see. But this is what we have as far as future skycast and the latest data, and I'll show you how much ice we could potentially see once again for those of you guys who are just joining. So right now, above freezing, we're okay, just rain, but we have the moisture streaming in. That's going to set the stage. Even the stuff that we're seeing right now, the rain, stuff that's going to be settling on the ground, that's going to freeze over into later parts of tonight. So that even that is going to be kind of a headache as well. But once that freezing line continues to move south, here's 8 o'clock, right around the I-20 corridor, that's when we can really start to see this kind of move down. You go south of there, you still got a little bit of rain. You can see those temperatures there. It continues to move down. It gets kind of heavy further to the south. I actually would not be too terribly surprised to actually see a couple lightning strikes out of this. We call that, I guess, thunder ice, thunder freezing rain. It can happen sometimes. Little mini convective cells within the storm itself. That's certainly a possibility. Would not be too terribly surprised. You get down to the 20s, 30s and 40s further to the south. That's where you see a little bit more rain. And again, we get a little bit of a break for the middle parts of Saturday. It picks up once again Saturday evening, so we're not going to be done. It comes in multiple rounds. And then we get to that second round. It lasts all the way through Saturday night into Sunday. There's your chance of snow off to the north, maybe a flurry or two for Sunday morning, maybe a little bit of sleet mixing in, but either way, it's not going to be very good, especially when it comes to the already pre-existing ice at that point. So temperatures down into the upper teens, low 20s. We get colder for next week, and we're going to kind of have that unfreeze, refreeze, unfreeze, refreeze kind of situation for the next several days. So if you're heading out to work for each and every day next week, definitely want to be careful. But again, here's your ice outlook. The better chance for ice, or at least the most chance, or for the most ice, I should say, is going to be along and north of I-20. That's going to be a ½ inch or greater, maybe 3/4 of an inch at the most. You go further to the north towards Texarkana into Arkansas, you'll have the better chance to see maybe about 1 inch of ice, maybe a little bit more sleet, because we're going to be further up into the air mass in that direction. And then again, further to the south, still can expect maybe around 1/4 of an inch of ice at most. Just south of I-20, it gets less and less and less as we kind of head towards Lufkin. That's where you can see a little bit more rain, so it doesn't really become too much of an issue in that direction. But still expect some disruptions to daily life, considerable disruptions across a good chunk of the area. So again, we're expecting power outages. I'm expecting treacherous roads. I'm expecting all of that. So you definitely want to make sure you are prepared. Again, that's going to really start up around 9 o'clock. It's kind of here already, but that freezing line is going to continue to move down. By 9 o'clock, we're going to be in trouble here. And then that goes until noon, and that's for that combination of freezing rain and Arctic cold. Next week, we're talking all about the Arctic cold. And so despite this being over, we're still going to have some freezing temperatures that are going to refreeze everything that already has fallen. So if you have to travel, again, be very, very careful. I really don't advise you to travel at all. Tomorrow, even Sunday, Monday morning is going to be a little bit iffy. We get a little bit above freezing during the day on Monday, so it might be okay. But sure enough, we go back to the teens for the lows, back up to the 40s, back down to below freezing for Wednesday. So it just is kind of a rinse and repeat scenario for the next several days. So it's still going to be kind of a problem into the next several days after this ice is over. All right, I'm going back over to Facebook here. I was traveling in town. I deal around 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. Just depends on where you're at. I would say, honestly, for a majority of the area, really not ideal to travel between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And even when we get that little break in between 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock, it's still going to be below freezing. If you have to travel, please be careful. It's just really not ideal at all. I mean, we got a 100% chance there. I put a 100% chance. So I would not advise any travel whatsoever this weekend. Yeah, and by the way, we're going to be going live for Morning Y'all tomorrow morning. That's going to start at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, we got winter weather coverage coming up tomorrow at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then we got another stream at 5 o'clock. That's CBS19 News at 5. And then there's another one at 10 o'clock on CBS19 News at 10. And as for Sunday, do we have the Sunday one? Perfect. You're awesome. Denise, she's back there. She's awesome. She's our director. We got another one, 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And then we have another one at 10 o'clock for CBS19 News at 10. Now, some of this is going to be on air. Some of this is going to be streaming. We'll break into coverage as needed, but we're going to keep you updated. We're definitely going to keep you updated. The CBS19 weather experts will keep you updated. Make sure to download CBS19 Plus. Download CBS19, the app on your device, and turn on those notifications to receive the latest from us, the CBS19 weather experts, and of course the alerts from the National Weather Service. You're definitely going to need it. Make sure to be prepared. Today is the last day to be prepared. It's all going to be rain for the most part. And then we get to around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That's when it's going to start to switch over. So we'll continue to keep you updated throughout the day. CBS19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony will be in later today with the latest details. So again, stay weather aware. We'll keep you advised.